So now is the time we've all been waiting for. Our beloved and very dear and lovely Reverend Jean will now give us our lesson.
Good morning, everyone. Does this mean something? Your notes are here? I'll save them for you. Okay, it's great to see you all. You all. Smiling faces, lovely faces. As Kate was saying, this is a wonderful, wonderful feedback. Even if you step up here and you say one word, to look out at who's sitting in these seats and to see that sparkle in the eye, that smile on the face, that aha moment is precious. It's precious. Anyway, we all know, or we know now, most of you, that when the mind is ready to take in this teaching, and it's a powerful teaching, we all learn that, then all negative things that were nestled within each one of us seems to magically depart, right? Think about it. When you embrace this kind of love and peace and forgiveness and joy and inclusion, then all the other stuff is gone. It doesn't even mean anything. And we feel it fills the void because when you let go of something, there's an emptiness there. So you fill it with the positive. And that's why we're here. That's why Science of Mind is here. And that's why Ernest Holmes created this teaching. And of course, most of you know that he did not want a church. He wanted to teach. He wanted to teach disciples and to send them out into the world to teach. He didn't want this kind of a thing. But as it turned out, he was very happy. I think he was very happy. And I think he sees what he has accomplished because this is a powerful, wonderful, inclusive teaching. So if you're thinking right now, and a few of you are just new and haven't taken classes, I suggest, and I'm not going to proselytize up here, but I suggest that you take some time and just take one class this summer, just to see, because it will absolutely change you immediately. Right? I heard somebody say yes. Okay. I think what I'd like to explain and talk about is our responsibility. Our responsibility for ourselves, for how we think, for our neighbors, for the creatures that walk, swim, crawl on this planet, and fly, right? Whether we like them or not, we are responsible for them. We are the caretakers. And sometimes when I watch animal channels, I have to kind of turn them off quickly because they're not too kind. So, but I think we all know, because we're in this kind of a teaching and because we love this kind of a teaching, because we know it's the truth, then all of us share that love and spread that love. So, with that said, I know you're sitting there thinking, well, trying to love all creation. My neighbor next door who is not too kind, and the guy who plays the music loud when you're trying to sleep, and parks in your driveway, and all those yada, yada, yada things. we still have to, we still need to, we still must go within and know that we are all expressions of God. So, water creatures, creatures that fly, creatures that walk on this earth, crawl, slither, and whatever else they do. We have dominion over them. We have dominion, you and I. You and I. So we can turn a blind eye, or we can do the best we can. We can do the best we can. And love is the best we can, because out of love comes wonderful, creative, strong, potent things out of just loving. So, okay. And how do we do that? And I'm going to talk about thinking, our thinking, the thoughts that we hold on to, and how we talk to each other, how we talk to neighbors, how we talk to friends, strangers, how we talk. I'm quite sure most of you recall that Broadway play, South Pacific. It was even made into a movie. Do you remember the song in there, Happy Talk? Just think about it. There was a song in there, Happy Talk. No, but everybody's going, I'm not sure. See? Good. Yes, it describes how you talk happy. If you want a dream to come true, you talk happy talk. And it was such a wonderful thing, because years ago, I wasn't in religious science or science of mind, but it still did something for me. Wow. You change your life by talking happy thoughts, by sharing with each other happiness. Well, that's what we do in Science of Mind. We talk happy. We're sometimes called dreamers, but to manifest a dream or an idea or a change of life experience, one must see that image clearly, in detail. See it constantly until it becomes a reality, no matter what. No matter what. We do affirmations, right? We do visioning. We do meditations. We do spiritual mind treatment, and anything else that will instill in the mind and instill in the body what it is we want to see in our lives. And we all know it's a process. But it's a process that delivers humongous rewards. Humongous. I mean, if most of us, or some of us that have been in this teaching longer than a few months or a few years, can see the transformation. You are not who you were 6 months ago, right? Nor would we want to be. So the criteria for anyone as to what is right or wrong for them is not to be found in another person's judgment. I didn't think of that. We sometimes judge ourselves, we judge, right? We judge our neighbors, we judge a person in the street, we judge somebody who's driving a car and his music is blaring, right? So, Albert Einstein said, the most beautiful and profound emotion we can experience is the sensation of the mystical. It is the power of all true science. Interesting, huh? If we see only the incomplete, only the imperfect, only the relative and the limited, then these conditions will manifest in our life. But, there's a but, if we train our minds to see and realize the spiritual ego, the I, which is forever perfect and complete, then then only wholesome, harmonious, and healthful conditions will manifest. So in plain English, if you constantly are looking at the negative, that's what's going to come into your life. If you switch, just shift your thinking and think the positive. Not the Pollyanna sweetness all the time, but the truth, the reality of it. That will be your reality. Jesus, the greatest spiritual genius of all time, said that our prayers should be prayers of faith. Faith. And our meditations should be contemplations of certainty. Our faith must reach beyond facts to that something which makes facts out of its own affirmation and creates form out of its own substance and projects experience through the law of its own word. Wow. All things are possible. That's what it's saying. All things are possible. I don't care if you wake up one morning and say, this is impossible, I cannot do this. It is possible. All things are possible. If you look for it, if you believe it, if you have the faith, all things are possible. Our true nature is that we are a field of all possibilities. And you know, and it brings me back to sports. 20 years ago, the sports people could not do what they're doing now, 20 years later. They would say, oh, that's impossible. There was an ice skater in the 1930s. I was reading a history book on ice skating, and she could barely do, she was from Norway, she could barely do a little spin. Do you see what these ice skaters can do? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And why? Because we progress and we know we can and we continue. And that's the same with life. If your life, bless you. Yes. If your life is not the way you would like it, shift your thinking. Shift your belief system. Shift the way you look at things. Shift the way you talk about things. If you wake up in the morning and say, oh God, another day. Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. If you wake up and say, thank you, God, for another day. There you go. Because you will be filled with glory and surprises and wonder and delight. We are a field of all possibilities, you and me and everyone that you see. We are a field of all possibilities. This field is our own essential nature. It is our inner self. The Sufi poet Rumi, and I don't know if you've ever read some of his things, but one of his things he said, and I quote, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Being a student of science of mind, and we're all students, no matter how many classes you take and no matter how many times you graduate with that diploma, we're all students through life. Being a student of science of mind, we know that we are the only one that can truly live our life. Nobody can live it for you. You can't do it for your child, your spouse, your friend. You cannot do it for anyone. We are the only ones that can live our life. And think about that, right? We can hear and hear and hear all the things that we should be doing. But it is up to the individual. It is up to each one of you that when you leave here to think, Okay, did she say something that made sense, or was it all gobbledygook? You know, you make the own, yeah. I remember I used to sit in the Hollywood Church of Religious Science, in, of course, Hollywood, California. And sometimes I would sit there and leave, when it was all over, leave, and my brain would go blah, blah, blah. I didn't know what this person was saying. He was too technical, he was too scientific, and it took me a long time to grasp. But if you read the Science of Mind textbook, the first 4 chapters, you got it. You got it made. First 4 chapters. Makes sense, right? So if you yourself don't practice and practice and practice what you've learned here, you will slip back into the old way. And it's natural. But you must practice. You must practice. You must practice. You must leave here a new being. And I see it because I've been here a while. And I see the change in most of you. I can see it. I can see it. And that's beautiful. It's wonderful. Each one of us has the equipment built in. We each have been given wisdom, the power, the creativity, and the desire, all working together to grow an idea and to make it real. All we need to do. Now, here's what we need to do. State it. Own it with a yes. Yes, I can do it. Or yes, this is the truth. Or yes, I am love. I am wisdom. I am health. Then nurture it. Nurture it. Work it. Work it, girl. And feed it. And how do you feed it? With assurance and repetition, so that it becomes your mantra. No matter what the outside tells you, you know. So maybe you're sitting there and saying, hey, boy, that's a lot of work. Yeah, sure. But you're working on yourself. You are worth it. You're working on yourself. We need to continuously affirm and confirm what we know. What we know is the truth. The more we do that, the faster the demonstration. And just think of as each affirmation as laying a train track. So if you think of it that way, all your affirmations. So by the time you do all those affirmations, you're at your destiny and your destination. Science of Mind is all about demonstrating. One of my teachers in California said, if you don't demonstrate, then just throw the book away. It's a waste of time. And the demonstration, it doesn't have to be $1 billion. You don't have to demonstrate a mansion in Hollywood, California. But if you take what you want in mind, and I've talked about, I wanted to travel, and I think I talked about this a couple of months ago. And I didn't have any money. Not penny one. But I kept saying, I'm going. I know I am. And there, I was so sure, and the universe came to help me. Right? You have to be sure, and you have to know, and you have to have confidence that you deserve it. Now, you can do treatments for deserving $1 billion. Of course, we all do that. But you know, let's be real. You deserve all the good things in life. And all you have to do is know it and feel it. And then go with it. You know, it sounds simple. And it is. It is really. It just takes time. Dr. Ernest Holmes once said, this teaching means nothing if you do not demonstrate what you desire. But before you can demonstrate anything, you need to have a mental equivalent. And that's a mental picture of what it is you want. And then Then you need to hold that picture in mind until it manifests into form. Now, that doesn't sound like a difficult thing to do, right? Okay. It really isn't. It really isn't. You just have to work it. You just have to know. The presence of God is always with us. We know that. When we accept that, the power is right there. And that presence is the guiding light, the flame for the torch. And think of it. And the power is the foot that kicks you forward. But it only does so if you hold that mental picture in mind and you don't waver. And that's what happens to a lot of us. We hold it there for a week or a couple of days or a month, and then when it doesn't manifest immediately, you go, it doesn't work. You have to have assurance within yourself that you are deserving. And if you don't change your mind, if you don't get discouraged, if you don't forget, then and only then will you demonstrate that desire. Simple. It's a simple process. If you can believe that all things are possible, hey, then they are. Then they are. It's right here in your belief. And as I said, it's really a simple process. Man comes into this world financed by God with all that he desires or requires already. Already. And it's waiting for him. It's waiting for you and I. All you need to do, believe it, and you will see it. Work it, and you will see it. So, we all know, we all want the good things in life. Prosperity, health, love, happiness, and so on. So why would we allow anything negative to enter the mind? We wouldn't. You know? It is just habitual. And that's what we have to undo. That's all. We have to know that we are loving, deserving expressions of the infinite. So, putting attention on a word, which is the symbolic expression of an idea, is therefore magical. So think about that. If you put that, I am a divine expression of God, doesn't that sound magical and wonderful? And you are. We are. Don't dismiss what you're feeling, ever. Most times there is value in taking a moment to analyze a situation. And when I heard that statement, it brought home to me an incident when I almost doubted my inner feelings. I was traveling to Mexico. I wanted to go, I was always traveling somewhere, when I realized that I could do it. But I had made plans with a friend, and everything was comped, and a wonderful hotel, and I had never been to Mexico City, didn't speak Spanish, didn't have an idea what it looked like. And she called me up and said, I'm sick, I can't go. I went, but I'm going. I am going. I did a treatment. Luckily, I was in this teaching. I did a treatment. I sat there. I'm going. So I got on a plane and, not really thinking it out, and arrived in Mexico City at midnight. Yeah, lone woman at midnight in Mexico, doesn't speak the language. I thought, oh my gosh. Well, I had the hotel written out, the name of the hotel, and here's a line of taxi drivers. They all looked a little grungier than the other. And I thought, oh dear God, here we go. And I treated, boy did I treat. and I had my bag, and this, they were in a line, and this one guy said, little broken English, "Where am I going?" And I showed him, and he seemed okay, and I thought, okay, this is it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So he took my bag, and I said, okay. And he took me. Well, it was midnight, of course, and it was dark out, and they don't have street lights like we do in this country. And we're driving and driving on this dark road, and I'm saying, oh, please, God. And we're driving and driving, and I all of a sudden kept doing those wonderful treatments, just mantras, and he drove up to this wonderful hotel, and it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning. He didn't speak much English, so we didn't talk, so I didn't know if he was taking me wherever. Anyway, but I trusted. I said, yes, I trusted. And nice guy got out, and in his he didn't even have broken English, in his Spanish, opened the door for me, carried my bags, took me up, waited till the guy came to sign me in, brought me up to my room, said, something in Spanish, thank you, and I gave him, I don't know, probably gave him more than I should have, but anyway, I was happy. So I got there, but we always see with a vision from our childhood, fearful. I blessed this man, and I got in, and I had the most wonderful time in Mexico City by myself. So don't dismiss things. Don't be in a hurry to say, oh, I can't do that, or that's not allowed, or I'm a woman and I can't. Always go for the gold. You deserve it. You deserve it. If it's in your heart, if it's in your mind, if you are passionate about it, then it's got to be right. It's got to be right. So what I like to do, and I'm going to cut this short because we have a meeting, but I hate to leave you lovely people. You look so cute there. I want you to take away with you that you are a divine expression of God. You are. And don't discount it. Don't say, don't turn away from it. Just know, and know that within each one of you, there are divine experiences waiting to happen. All you need to do is say yes. There you go. Take me with you. And as I said, trust, yeah. Yeah. Trust in the power within you. Trust in spirit. Trust in your teaching. Trust in your neighbor. Send the love and the peace and the joy that you are out into the world, and it comes back to you billionfold. And there you are. And have a wonderful day. Namaste.